and it'll be proving that you're not in danger if someone is not pleased with you. And the result of that will be natural, authentic self-confidence and self-worth. And automatically and naturally, no more people pleasing. Boguswava asks, I would like to find the root cause of being a people pleaser. Could you somehow help me with it? Thank you. So thank you, Boguswava, for asking the question. I know that this is something that a lot of people struggle with, and it was one of my biggest challenges as well before. So the first point to bear in mind is that people-pleasing is not just a behavior or a personality trait. It's a survival skill. It's an unconscious, automatic survival skill. And that's why it can be so difficult to change, because to the unconscious part of the brain, if you don't please people, you'll die. And this, of course, comes from childhood conditioning, trying to survive in childhood. So there's actually an excellent video by Dr. Kim Sage on her YouTube channel. And the video is called Your Mom is Trauma, or Your Mother is Trauma. So either your mother is trauma or your mom is trauma, either way. But I'll put the link to that video in the description of this video. And in that video, Dr. Sage gives a brilliant explanation of the effects of a parent on the survival mechanisms of the child's brain and how it affects the adult that that child becomes. So that video goes into the details, but in short, to the unconscious part of the brain, if our parents aren't pleased with us, we'll die. So we rely on the adults who are raising us to keep us alive, to feed us and to protect us. And because that's the case, because we are reliant on them to keep us alive, we are automatically wired to try to please them in order to survive. So it's an unconscious drive to survive. Now, if we grew up with one or both parents or any other adults who were raising us, who were unreliable, unsafe, distant, emotionally unavailable, or having trouble dealing with their own issues, the child's brain and nervous system are in overdrive to try to survive, and it's constant, pretty much. And so we become conditioned to live in that state. So now as an adult, as you encounter people in your life, the unconscious part of your brain is referring to the so-called fact that you are in danger because you're not loved and you're not safe in your childhood. It's referring to your childhood memories, your implicit childhood memories. So bearing in mind that the unconscious part of the brain has no sense of time, to that part of the brain, everything is happening in this moment. So your childhood is still happening now as far as the unconscious part of your brain is concerned, because it doesn't have that ability to distinguish between now and the past and the future. So it's only your conscious mind that's able to distinguish between reality and imagination, use logic and reason. And it's only your conscious mind that is aware of the past versus present. So because you never did get that reassurance and that safety in your childhood, your brain is still trying to get it now. And it means that the people you come into contact with now, to the unconscious part of your brain, those people represent your parents. And your brain is still trying to get that reassurance that they are pleased with you, meaning you will survive. And it doesn't make logical sense, I know, but then the unconscious part of the brain doesn't use logic or reason, of course. Now, the tricky part of this is two things. First of all, your brain will be filtering out experiences or people in your life now that would not be in alignment with your childhood experiences of your parents. In other words, you'll be unconsciously attracted to people with whom you can feel that same way you felt as a child, or your brain will just ignore any behavior person shows you that is the opposite to how you were treated as a child. So bearing in mind that the unconscious part of the brain is constantly trying to keep us alive by keeping us the same, we may not be happy, but we're still alive. Again, it makes no logical reason to, it doesn't make logical sense to the conscious mind, but the unconscious part of the brain can't use logical reason. So it's just programmed to keep us in alignment, to stay in alignment with whatever implicit memories are there from childhood, whether they're true or not, whether they're empowering or not, and whether they feel good or not. It's just, that's what's there. So we need to stay in alignment with it. And those, of course, those implicit memories form our self-image and worldview. And secondly, even if you do encounter people who treat you the way you want to be treated, it still won't be enough. So no matter what they do, because it's not about now, it's not about them, and it's not about anything that's happening now. So if you think of the people you're encountering in your life now as an adult and your experiences with them as a mirror. And so they are the reflection in the mirror. So they're the reflection you're looking at in the mirror. And your childhood is you looking into the mirror. And no amount of trying to make the reflection change by focusing on the reflection will change the reflection or your experience. So it's like looking in a mirror and trying to make your lips red by putting the lipstick on the mirror. So you have to put the lipstick on your own lips, and then you'll see the result in the mirror. And in the same way, as real as your current experiences feel right now with the people in your life as an adult, it really is just the reflection of the mirror. So making the changes to your childhood memories that the unconscious part of your brain is referring to will automatically change your experiences with the people now, in the same way as putting red lipstick on your lips, on your own lips, then you'll see the result in the mirror. So how to do that? So the first step, ask yourself, when you think of your childhood right now, what's the first thing that comes to mind? What's the first thing that pops into your mind? And how do you feel? And if it's anything negative, of course, change that. And for those who are new to this, I'll put a step-by-step video for changing memories in the description of this post, along with more details on finding and changing negative implicit childhood memories. Then next, think of your mother. And when you think of your mother in your childhood, what's the first thing that comes to mind, and how do you feel? Again, if it's anything other than a feeling of love and reassurance and affection and feeling safe and supported and so on, change the negative memories or create brand new ones from scratch to make sure that you're giving your brain those new references that you are safe and you don't need to strive to please anyone to survive, because you're already safe and loved by those who raised you. Then do the same with your dad, with your father. And then if you're finding it difficult to change memories of your parents or to create new ones, do the due justice technique to unblock whatever resistance is there, whatever it may be that your brain sees as a threat, as dangerous. And I'll put a link to the due justice technique in the description of this video for those who don't have it yet. So what you're aiming for is that when you think of your childhood and when you think of each of your parents, you feel a sense of being loved, safe, and supported no matter what you did. So you were loved unconditionally. And of course, you can create new memories to prove that. If you can't find any negative memories, just create brand new ones from scratch. And you can use the Bookmark Memories, and I'll put a link to that information in the description of this video. And then you may find that as you do the Bookmark Memories, you suddenly recall a negative memory. And then, of course, you can just change that. Then, once you've changed the negative memories and created those new ones, here's the next step. Think of someone or a situation where you would normally be a people pleaser. So whatever that looks like, that would normally look like for you. And notice as you think of that person or that situation, notice what happens inside you now after you've changed all those memories. And if you notice any negative feelings or thoughts, immediately redirect your brain to one of the new childhood memories where your parents are hugging you and telling you how much they love you, and they're calm and kind, compassionate, affectionate, and you feel safe. And it doesn't need to be a long scene. It can just be a moment in time, as long as it has the feelings of being loved and safe. And then stay in that scene until the good feelings are strong. And if any negative memories pop up or negative thoughts, change those, go through the same process, change those, and then come back to the scene. And once those good feelings are strong in the scene, then think of that person or situation again, where you would normally be a people pleaser, and notice again what happens inside you. So notice what thoughts or feelings are there now. And if there are any negative feelings or thoughts, redirect to that new memory of your parents again. And keep doing that back and forth until when you think of that person or situation where you would normally be a people pleaser, you no longer feel like you need to please someone, and you feel like you're safe and loved no matter what they think or feel or do. Now, it's very important to realize that this may seem impossible at first, but the only reason for that is because as you think about it, before you've made those changes, now, as you think about it, the unconscious part of your brain is still referring to the so-called evidence that proves you're in danger if someone is not pleased with you. And that evidence is not real, and it's not true. It feels real and true because of the stress chemicals like adrenaline, cortisol that are being produced as you think about it, and that's your brain's survival mechanism. But when you change those memories and practice the new ones, establish the new ones, then the evidence will be proving that you are loved and safe and valuable no matter what. And it'll be proving that you're not in danger if someone is not pleased with you. And the result of that will be natural, authentic self-confidence and self-worth. And automatically and naturally, no more people pleasing. So I hope that helps. But of course, let me know if you need more or you need clarification on anything. And so that's all the questions for today. Of course, check the description for any, if you'd like to find out how to get help for yourself, either working with me one-to-one, in this situation, in this sort of forum, or you can send in your questions. You can send in questions anonymously, and I can do no content if you want to remain anonymous with me working with you. All right, lots of love to all of you. Bye-bye now.